All right, well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, entrepreneurs without limits. I'm Dana Scranton, and welcome to Your Code of Living. This is a video series where I'm going over the essential elements of your code of living. Your code of living is your mindset lived each and every moment of every day. Now, in our first episode, this is episode number 2, I defined what mindset was. And to refresh your memory, mindset is your life operating system that gives you clarity of vision, purpose, thought, action, and results. It facilitates and adapts to change and promotes growth in multiple areas of your life. Those are 3 distinct modules: clarity, change, growth. Now, what I want to talk about today is how those 3 modules define your path in life. First of all, clarity. Now, clarity is a relative term. What that means is what is clear to you now will be clearer to you in the future, and clearer yet as you move forward in life. In some cases, what you're clear about now will lead you in a different direction, so you're redefining your clarity. But here's what clarity is all about. Clarity is knowing what you want, why you want it, and how you're going to get it. Now, all of that doesn't happen at once. That's why the mindset of life is the intermediate element. It's the intermediate process or state of mind on your way to the code of living. And in the past, I've talked about the 4 stages of learning. You can look those up. But essentially, it's unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. Then there's conscious incompetence. Now you know what you don't know and what you need to go find out how to know. And that's a learning process. That's a very steep learning curve. Then you arrive at conscious competence. Now you know what you know and you know how you need to advance to learn more, and you're conscious of it. You're making a deliberate effort every day to get better, to learn more, to apply what you know, to add more knowledge and skill and capability to who you are. Then finally, the state of mastery. This state of mastery is where you're now living your code of living. This is where that's your state of existence. And that is unconscious competence, where things just happen, where things are easier, natural. Now, the stage prior to that, conscious competence, that's when you are living in your mindset of life. You know what your mindset is, you know how it influences your life, but it's a very deliberate step-by-step process each and every day to ensure that you live that. So clarity is an ever-changing process. It's a growing process, but it begins by knowing what you want and why. The how will follow in the process of developing your mindset of life, and we'll be going over that as we move forward in this series. So don't get wrapped up or stalled wondering about the hows. Right now, your job is to understand what you want and why. And in the next episode, we're going to go into the very discrete details of how you achieve that. And then there's the second module, change. It goes without saying that if you want to move from where you are to where you desire to be, something is going to have to change. You can't move forward with the same thinking and mindset that got you where you are and got you stuck where you are. You have to change. You have to change your expectations, your vision, your desires, your health, your wellness, your relationships, your focus. You have to determine ultimately what changes you need to make in order to move in the direction of your desires. And again, this is something we're going to cover in this series of episodes. Now, the thing to remember is change is a personalized process. You have to be comfortable with it, or more precisely, you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable for the vast majority of people. And that's because they maybe associate change with radical change, big steps. But in our process of going from the mindset of life to your code of living, we're talking about incremental changes, daily changes that are small steps towards the larger result. And we define this in one of the modules within this process. Change is inevitable, change is necessary, and you can take one of two paths. You can either be in charge of your change, be proactive, be guiding it, or you can be the victim of change. Which do you want to be? Do you want to be the hero in your life, or do you want to be the victim? It happens that way. Change is inevitable. And when I say you're not going to get where you want to go by doing the same things you're doing today, that's not to say that you're not changing in the moment. You're changing. You just may be changing in the wrong direction. So change is a positive element. We have to view it as positive. We have to view it as essential. And we have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable with the prospects of change. Change will ultimately lead you to growth, the third element. Growth is where the change has manifested in you being somebody different than you were. Being somebody who now has greater talent and capability and skill and knowledge and wisdom and ability to make an impact in the world. That's where you're headed. And here's the deal. This is a cyclical process. As you grow and you change, or vice versa, you change and you grow, that growth, the person you become in this process, leads you to greater clarity. And what does greater clarity do for you? It leads you to change once again. That change leads you to where? More growth. It's a cyclical phenomenon. So if you become comfortable with the prospects of change, with the fact that it's going to be different, you're going to have to do some new things, you're going to have to be uncomfortable for a while, you're going to have to step outside the comfort zone, then growth is inevitable. You will grow. And if you take charge of your change, if you take charge of moving from that conscious competence stage to the unconscious competence stage, then the growth that manifests from that will be in the right direction. It'll be in the direction of your desires. So those are the three elements of mindset: clarity, change, and growth. It is a cyclical phenomenon. It pushes you forward and continues to evolve and continues to grow. So this is a very important idea that you have to just internalize. We've talked about the definition of mindset. Now you know what the three elements represent. And I really want to be very emphatic about this, that these are individualized paths in your journey of life. What is clear to you may not be clear to somebody else. The what, the why, the how, the when, the where, all of that is you. That is your individual path in life, not somebody else. You do not compare yourself to somebody else. What is clear to you is clear to you because of who you are, because of what your mind and your heart say to you as to where you want to go, and why, and how, and where, and when. Change is the same thing. You know what you have to do to change you. Now, you can't necessarily do what somebody else is doing. That's why a lot of these guru programs don't work. They give you a recipe and they say, do this, do that, and you'll get this result. And while that may be true, the problem oftentimes is that what they're telling you to do is incongruent with who you are trying to become in the way that you want to become that. They're trying to fit you into the path and the box that they took. And you got to be intelligent enough and you got to be aware enough to recognize the value in what they're sharing, but then also to recognize that you have to put that into your own personalized growth plan. You have to see how that fits, how clear it is and congruent it is with your vision, your purpose, your thoughts, your actions, your results, the plans that you have in place to achieve those things. Same thing is true of growth. To grow into the person that you can be, that you're destined to be, not to grow into the person that you admire, the leader. You can grow towards them. You can get the same results or better results. That's what you want to focus on. You don't want to become them. You are uniquely you. You're special. You've got everything inside of you you need to become anything you want, to achieve anything you want, to deliver the impact to the world unseen to this date. But you're not going to get there if you try to become someone else. It's okay to achieve the results that they get or to surpass those results, but do it your way with the clarity of who you are, what you want, why you want it, your plan to change, to become more so that you can do, be, have, and give more, and then, of course, to grow. The cyclical, perpetual process that results from you having a code of living. So that's the important element of mindset. And when somebody is talking to you about mindset, let's take a common one, the millionaire mindset. If you've ever done any studying on the concept of a millionaire mindset, what you're going to find out is there are a number of different paths, a number of different gurus trying to teach you this millionaire mindset. But when you really dig into it, the vast majority of it is attitude, which is, of course, an element of mindset. We're going to talk about that. But it is not mindset in and of itself. And here's why. The millionaire mindset very oftentimes talks about your level of comfort with money, your background, how you grew up with money, your attitude towards money, what it does for you, where it comes from, using the law of attraction that money comes to you, and a vast array of these types of thoughts. Rarely does it ever go into the level of detail of true mindset. Clarity, for example, clarity of vision, purpose, thought, action, or results. That's only the first step. You're clear you want to be a millionaire. To be a millionaire, you've got to earn a certain amount of money a month. To do that, you're going to achieve it by doing a certain thing in a certain way at a certain place at a certain time. Now that may be clarity, but that's usually where it stops. Then there's the plan. The plan is growth. This is where you have to sit back and seriously look at your beliefs, your values, your purpose, the passions that go along with it, and the enthusiasm that is or isn't there, to look at it from your perspective as to where you're going to be in the future, the impact you're going to make, how it's going to change the world, the legacy it's going to leave. These are all parts of the growth process that lead you back to clarity. So you change, you grow, you go back to clarity. You grow into the person that your change plan dictates you will be. And very rarely does a mindset, as most people teach, meet those three criteria. Not that they don't, not that they can't, it's just that they typically are not structured in that way. So you now know that you have to have those three key elements: clarity, change, and growth, and that those have to be individualized. They have to be your path in life. They have to be based on your values and beliefs, your desires, purpose, passion, enthusiasm, all of that, because that's who you are and that's who you will become. You will become a greater version of yourself. And in a decade, you'll look back and not even recognize the person you were. So that's the important thing to realize when it comes to mindset. There is a definition, and within that definition, there are three elements. Those three elements paint the roadmap into the future. So in the next episode, what we'll be talking about are the first steps. And those steps really are something that everybody does, but they just don't realize how to utilize them to achieve that they really want in life. And those steps will be dreams, desires, decision, the 3 Ds, okay? And they're very important. So that'll be in episode 3. So tune back in. And as usual, these videos will be posted in the group. They'll be in the mindset unit, and they'll be in order. They'll also be up on YouTube. And that account is in the group. You can go and see it's Entrepreneurs Without Limits. And there's a link to that YouTube group in the, or YouTube site rather, YouTube channel in the group. So until next time, this is Dana Scranton, and I hope you're having a wonderful day, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, take care, and remember, you have no limits. You can do anything that you desire. Thank you, and we'll see you out there somewhere.